Neuropathy does something unusual that almost no other condition does. It causes burning pain and numbness simultaneously in the same tissue. The nerve that has stopped telling your foot where it is in space is also sending signals your brain reads as fire. That contradiction, too much signal and too little at the same time, is not simply a malfunction. It is a nerve that has been progressively deprived of what it needs to function normally, oscillating between overreaction and shutdown. Understanding this is the beginning of understanding why specific movement, applied correctly, can change what medication alone often cannot. Today, I am going to walk through 7 exercises drawn from peripheral neuropathy rehabilitation protocols. What each one does, why it matters for the specific biology of nerve function, and how to perform it safely at home. Before we begin, if you have active wounds, skin breakdown, or open sores on your feet or legs, do not start any exercise protocol without direct guidance from your physician. Compromised skin requires medical management first. If you are managing neuropathy alongside diabetes, have had any falls recently, or have significant balance impairment, I would encourage you to review these exercises with your care team before beginning independently. For everyone else, these movements are appropriate for home use and come from established rehabilitation practice. Exercise Hash 1. Foot doming inside your foot. There are over 20 small muscles called intrinsic muscles, whose job is not to move your leg or ankle, but to control the fine architecture of the foot itself. They hold the arch. They stabilize each toe independently, and they create the structural environment that surrounds the nerve endings in the ball of the foot and toes, the exact location where neuropathic symptoms most often begin. When these muscles weaken, which happens faster than most people realize when activity decreases, nerve endings lose their mechanical support. They become more exposed to pressure and compression with every step. Foot doming reactivates this muscle group without placing load through the forefoot, where neuropathic pain is often concentrated. How to do it? Sit in a chair with your foot flat on the floor. Without curling your toes, try to shorten your foot from heel to ball, as if drawing the ball of the foot toward the heel by lifting the arch. Your toes stay relaxed and long. Only the arch moves. Hold for 5 seconds. Release fully. 10 repetitions per foot. This will feel unfamiliar at first, which is precisely the point. These muscles have likely not received a direct activation signal in some time. The movement becomes cleaner with consistent practice. Exercise Hash 2. Sensory stimulation walk. Sensory nerve pathways that are not regularly stimulated do not hold their current level of function, they decline. The nerve endings that have gone quiet from neuropathy will continue going quieter unless the brain receives regular input through them. Sensory re-education programs, used formally in Japanese diabetic rehabilitation medicine for decades, are based on a straightforward neurological principle. Varied sensory input through declining pathways can, with practice and repetition, partially maintain function that passive rest allows to fade. How to do it? Place a folded hand towel on the floor beside a wall or sturdy chair. Stand on it in bare feet, holding the surface lightly for balance. Shift your weight slowly from heel to toe and side to side for 60 seconds. The slight unevenness of the folded towel creates varied pressure across the sole that a flat floor cannot. As this becomes easier, progress to a textured bath mat or non-slip rug. A more advanced version used in Japanese rehabilitation settings uses a shallow tray of smooth dried beans or rice that the feet press into gently while standing. The goal is not discomfort, it is variety of sensation. Different textures send different signal patterns through the sensory nerves of the foot, maintaining those pathways in a way that uniform flat surfaces do not. Exercise Hash 3. Nerve gliding. Most people and many clinicians are unaware of something important about nerves. They need to move. With every step you take, every bend of the knee, every flex of the ankle, the sciatic nerve and its branches slide several centimeters through the surrounding tissue. A healthy nerve glides freely. A nerve surrounded by inflammation, scar tissue, or the effects of prolonged disuse becomes adherent, tethered to the surrounding tissue. When asked to move, it cannot travel its full range. The resulting tension disrupts signal transmission in ways that are distinct from fiber damage itself and that do not respond to medication. Nerve gliding, also called neural flossing, is now standard practice in peripheral neuropathy, physical therapy for exactly this reason. How to do it? Sit upright in a chair. Straighten one knee until the leg is fully extended in front of you. Flex your foot so your toes point toward your shin. Hold for 3 seconds. Then simultaneously bend the knee and point the toes away from you. Hold for 3 seconds. That alternating sequence, leg long, toes up, then knee bent, toes pointed, gently mobilizes the sciatic and tibial nerve through its full path from the lower back to the foot. 10 slow repetitions per side. Never force the range. The sensation should be a mild, tolerable stretch. Sharp pain means you should reduce the range of movement. Exercise #4. Ankle alphabet. The connection between ankle mobility and neuropathic symptoms in the foot is not obvious until you understand the anatomy. The tibial artery, the primary blood supply to the nerve endings in the sole of the foot, runs directly behind the ankle joint. Alongside it, the tibial nerve itself passes through a narrow channel called the tarsal tunnel, just below and behind the inner ankle bone. When ankle mobility decreases, as it reliably does with age and reduced activity, circulation through that channel slows, the nerve's oxygen supply diminishes, and symptoms in the foot intensify. Physical therapists working in diabetic neuropathy clinics have observed this relationship consistently. Patients with poor ankle range of motion nearly always report more severe foot symptoms than those who have maintained ankle mobility, independent of blood sugar control. The ankle alphabet is the most comprehensive way to move the ankle through its full range without placing any load through the foot at all. How to do it? Sit in a chair with one foot lifted slightly off the floor, using only your ankle, not your leg or knee. Trace each letter of the alphabet in the air with your big toe. Write slowly and deliberately, making each letter as large as you comfortably can. Larger letters mean greater range of motion, which means more circulation through the tarsal tunnel with each movement. 1 full alphabet per foot, once daily. Exercise #5. Towel scrunches and marble pickups. This exercise works the same intrinsic muscle group as foot doming, but through an entirely different mechanism that targets something foot doming cannot reach. When the toes grip and release, scrunching a towel or picking up a marble, the nerve endings in the toe pads and ball of the foot receive direct mechanical stimulation through pressure and movement. The gripping motion compresses the digital nerves running along each toe. The release allows them to decompress. Done rhythmically, this creates a stimulation pattern that maintains the activity of the small fiber nerves responsible for fine touch sensation, the exact fibers that neuropathy typically damages first. How to do it? Place a small towel flat on the floor, using only your toes, scrunch it toward you, then smooth it back out. 10 repetitions per foot. For a more targeted version, place 5 marbles on the floor beside a cup and pick them up one at a time using only your toes, dropping each into the cup. The marble pickup is more demanding. Each marble requires individual toe control, which recruits more of the intrinsic muscle group and stimulates a wider range of nerve endings simultaneously. Both versions are used in sensory rehabilitation programs. Exercise #6. Proprioceptive balance challenges. Proprioception is the sense that tells your brain where your body is in space without looking. It is why you can walk across a dark room without falling. Your feet continuously report their position, and the brain adjusts your posture in response without conscious effort. Neuropathy disrupts this system directly. The sensory fibers responsible for proprioception run in the same peripheral nerves that carry pain and temperature signals, and they are damaged by the same processes. What rehabilitation programs have consistently observed? Patients who continue regular balance training after a neuropathy diagnosis maintain confident, independent walking substantially longer than those who stop. Not because the training reverses nerve damage. It does not. because it forces the nervous system to work harder with whatever sensory input remains, and that demand preserves the functional use of those pathways in a way that passive rest cannot. How to do it? Stand beside a wall or countertop with fingertips resting lightly on the surface. Shift your weight entirely onto one foot and hold for 10 seconds. Switch sides. As stability improves, progressively reduce surface contact, fingertips only, then one finger, then hovering without touching unless needed. The next progression is performing the same exercise on a folded towel, which removes the flat floor's predictability and requires more varied sensory processing. 2 sets per side, daily. Exercise #7. Tibial nerve mobilization at the tarsal tunnel. The 7th exercise targets the specific anatomical point where the tibial nerve is most commonly compressed in people with foot neuropathy, and it is the one most people have never encountered. The tarsal tunnel is a narrow passage on the inner side of the ankle, just below and behind the ankle bone. The tibial nerve passes through it on its way into the foot alongside the tendons and blood vessels that supply the sole. In a healthy ankle with regular movement, that passage remains open and the nerve glides through it freely. In an ankle affected by swelling, inflammation, scar tissue from old injury, or simply the connective tissue changes that come with age and reduced activity, the tunnel narrows. The nerve becomes compressed at that single point. And because the nerve branches from that point outward into the entire sole of the foot, compression there produces symptoms across the whole foot: burning, tingling, and numbness that can be mistaken for generalized neuropathy, but is at least in part a local mechanical problem with a local mechanical solution. This technique is distinct from the nerve gliding in exercise 3. That was a long-range technique mobilizing the nerve along its full length. This targets the specific passage where compression is most common. How to do it? Sit in a chair with one foot resting on the opposite knee so the inner ankle is accessible. Slowly turn the foot inward and downward, called inversion and plantar flexion, while simultaneously curling the toes downward. Hold for 3 seconds. This slackens the tibial nerve on its approach to the tarsal tunnel. Then slowly reverse. Turn the foot outward and upward while pulling the toes back toward your shin. Hold for 3 seconds. This creates gentle tension through the nerve as it passes through the tunnel, mobilizing it against whatever tissue may be restricting its movement. 8 slow repetitions per foot. The sensation should feel like a deep, dull stretch along the inner ankle and into the sole. Stop if you feel sharp shooting pain. That signals you are exceeding the nerve's current tolerance. Perform this exercise last in your session, after the others have already warmed the tissue and improved local circulation. Here is how these 7 exercises address the different layers of the neuropathy problem. Foot doming rebuilds the intrinsic muscle structure surrounding and supporting the nerve endings. Sensory stimulation walk feeds varied input into pathways that go quieter without regular use. Nerve gliding restores the mobility of the nerve along its full length through the lower limb. Ankle alphabet maintains circulation through the tarsal tunnel and the tibial artery supplying the foot. Towel scrunches and marble pickups activate the sensory nerve endings in the toes and ball of the foot directly. Proprioceptive balance challenge preserves the nervous system's ability to use whatever sensory input remains. And tibial nerve mobilization addresses the specific anatomical choke point where the nerve is most commonly compressed. 20 to 30 minutes daily. Each exercise targeting a different reason the nerves in your feet are struggling. The cumulative effect maintained over weeks is meaningful. Neuropathy does not respond to a single intervention. It responds to consistent, layered attention to the nerve's environment, its structural support, its sensory stimulation, its mobility, its circulation, and its proprioceptive function. These 7 movements address each of those layers. None of them are experimental. All are drawn from established rehabilitation practice, and all are appropriate for home use by adults managing neuropathic symptoms, with the precautions noted at the start. If this reaches you at a useful moment, Share it with someone you know dealing with burning, numbness, or tingling in their feet, who has been told there is little more to do. And if you want more practical, evidence-based health content built for adults over 60, subscribe to this channel. We are here every week. Take good care, and I will see you in the next one.